Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today I'm putting together my May TBR. I'm going to be playing TBR Betrayal as always, and I also want to mention the books that I'm going to be reading for Buzzwordathon and TBR Knockout, because I am still participating in those year-long challenges. And finally, I'm very excited that I'm going to be participating in May the Force Read With You, which is a readathon hosted by Eric from Break Even Books. I've enjoyed a lot of the other readathons that he's hosted, and I didn't know about this one until recently, so I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I love Star Wars, and I thought all the prompts were really cool. So that's the plan for today, but first things first, let's find out what the TBR Betrayal board is going to give me for May. Okay, so I'm kind of limited on space, so we're going to do this a little bit differently today. My loom is currently living here because I don't have a stand for it yet. Hopefully soon. But first things first, we gotta find out who we're gonna be playing. So, got the dice tray, we got the D12, and it's number 5. So number 5 is Louis de Pointe-de-Lac, who is from Interview with the Vampire, and his knowledge stat is 4. So I need to have 4 books in my TBR. Go ahead and roll for book 1. Got a 2. So that's 1, 2. What modifier did we get? Where did I put them? They're over here. Title starts and ends with the same letter. That's an interesting one. Gonna put that up there. And what's the book gonna be? Got a 2 again. So 1, 2. Got a prompt. So we will have a prompt to go with our modifier. Continuous series. So we started things off interesting, getting continuous series, and the book has to start and end with the same letter for the title. And I almost thought I didn't have anything for this, but then I remembered I have a 7 of Infinities by Elliot Davidard, which is one of the Zuya universe companion novels. So this is a series of, not sequential, but companion novels set in a Vietnamese-inspired sci-fi world that I just think is really fun. This one is, I believe, inspired by, or is a retelling of, get back in there, there's a bookmark trying to escape, retelling of the Arsène Lupin books, which, if you're unfamiliar, are a series of books about a gentleman thief. So I'm really excited about this. I love this world. I think that premise seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I just love Elliot Davidard's writing, so I'm thrilled that I can finally get this on a TBR because I've been wanting to read it for ages. Rolling for book 2, got a 3. So we got 1, 2, 3, and that is a mood read tile. So that I get to pick whatever I want to read. Then next we got a mood read, and for this one I've decided to go ahead and slip in The Man with the Glass Eye by Cole McCade. This is the 3rd book in the Criminal Intention series, which is a really, really fun romantic suspense crime procedural series following detectives Malcolm Kalaji and Sung Jae-yoon, who are these 2 detectives who neither of them really wants to work together. It's like they are used to working alone, and they get kind of thrown together and have to figure out how to work together. But the series follows them as they are solving various mysteries, and it's structured like a TV show. So it feels very much like a series of, or like a season of Criminal Minds. Has that kind of vibe to it. There's a lot of like kind of psychological profiling and that kind of thing going on. It's so much fun because it's structured like a TV series with like each book is an episode, and then there's these kind of overarching plot threads that start to be pulled in. And as the romantic suspense portion would suggest, there is also a really, really slow burn romance that happens across the books as well. We're rolling for book number 3. Got a 2. 1, 2. So I got another mood read. And now things are looking suspicious because I've gotten 2 mood reads. And that like never happens. But I'm just gonna roll with it. And for this one I'm picking Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This is one of my most anticipated releases for this year. I just bought it a couple of weeks ago. So I'm excited that I can go ahead and put it on a TBR now and hopefully read it now that I've just bought it, not having it sit around on my shelves for ages. So I'm very excited to be reading this one. This is I believe it's also a heist kind of thing. So there's a little bit of a theme with the 7 of Infinities. But this is a heist novel about a group of Asian American college students who are hired to steal Chinese artifacts from museums to return them to China. And I think this just sounds like it's going to be so much fun, and I keep hearing really good reviews of this, and I am so excited to be reading it. I was so excited to have figured out my audio issues that I put everything away, without rolling for book number 4. So we're back out. Let's go. Book number 4. We got a 1. Which gives us another modifier. Least anticipated. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see if we get a prompt or if it gives me something else. Got a 3. Got a 1, 2, 3. Which I swear I didn't plan this, but it's yet another mood read. So, I don't actually need to use this modifier. At this point, I think the board was just trying to have mercy on me because I filmed this video multiple times due to technical issues. So we got a 3rd mood read. That is never gonna happen again, I don't think. But for this one, I'm gonna put She Who Became the Sun by Shelly Parker Chan on yet another TBR. I never get to this one. I really need to. This is one of my most anticipated books from last year that I never read. And I'm so annoyed with myself that I haven't read it yet, but I just keep struggling to get to it, even though I really want to. So this one is a historical fantasy. I've heard it leans more towards historical than fantasy, so there is that. But it's a historical fantasy that's set in the 1300s in China, and I believe it's a gender-bent retelling of the rise of the Ming Dynasty. This just sounds like it's going to be fun, and I know it's also going to be quite intense and emotional. My best friend read this and really enjoyed it and said that it was kind of an intense book, but she said that she thinks I'm going to love it, and she's never not been right about that. So I am really, really, really going to try and get to it this month and hopefully finally read this. So, TBR Betrayal gave me these plus an ebook. This isn't bad at all, and I actually only have a couple more things I need to add. So, first of all, Buzzwordathon for May is books with direction words in the title, and I literally only own one book that works for this. It's the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, because obviously South. This is the only option I have, so we're going with this one. It's not what I would actually pick to read this time of year, although I think it is probably going to be kind of seasonal. You know, I think it's got kind of a summery atmosphere, so maybe it's great for this time of year. I don't know. But I believe this follows a suburban mom who's like in a book club that loves true crime and mysteries and that kind of thing. And then this guy starts insinuating himself into their lives, and they begin to suspect that he might be a vampire. Of all of Grady Hendrix's books, this is the one I've heard the most good reviews of, so I am excited to pick this one up and see what I end up thinking of it. I'm also going to be using this one for TBR Knockout because for May, one of the prompts is to read a book with green on the cover or spine, so got like some green leaves. There's a tiny bit of green up here on the author name, and the hardback itself is actually green. So I think that works perfectly for that. And then the other prompt for TBR Knockout for May is a book with 5 to 7 words in the title, so I'm going to be using She Who Became the Sun for that. And then finally, I'm also participating, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, participating in May the Force Read With You, which is hosted by Break Even Books, and I'm very excited about this. I'm going to be doing the dark side prompts because, first of all, why not? Second of all, I just liked them a little bit better than the light side prompts, although there are some neutral prompts that you can swap out if you want to, and I am going to be doing that for one of the dark side prompts, just because I didn't have a book for it. So the first prompt for the dark side is Lightning, a book that you think will shock you. This is the one I'm swapping out because I just don't have anything that I think fits it really well. So instead, I'm going to be using Force Vision, a book set in the past or in the future, so basically historical fiction or sci-fi, and for that I'm going to be using 7 of Infinities. The second prompt for the dark side is Seduction, a book with a pretty cover. So for that, I am planning to use, I have these stacked all out of order, this is fine, Portrait of a Thief, because I just love this color combination and the font they chose. I just think this is a lovely cover, so that's what I'm using for Seduction. And then the third prompt is Force Fear, a horror or thriller book. So the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires is a horror book. That works perfectly for that. The fourth prompt is Corruption, start a series. She Who Became the Sun is the first book in a duology. And then finally, the only prompt that I needed to add a book for is Mind Control. Let your pets or another person choose a book for you. And for this one, I asked my best friend what she thought I should read for May, and she told me Underland by Robert Mcfarlane, which is a really interesting pick because this is a non-fiction book about caves and about basically what is under the land. And she said that this one caused her some existential dread, so that's going to be interesting, but she also said that it was really well written and that she really enjoyed reading it. So I think this is going to be a good experience, and I'm really looking to read some more nonfiction because I haven't read any in a while, so I'm glad that I can finally slip some in here. So these plus an ebook are all of the books I'm going to be reading in May, and this is fine. I'm actually really happy with this stack. I'm not intimidated. I think this is doable for me. I've been reading a lot more this year than I have in previous years, so I'm really thrilled with this TBR. I'm very excited about it, and I cannot wait to start in on my May TBR. I am gonna wait. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna wait till May, but I am really excited about this. I know that these are not probably gonna be all of the books that I read. I almost always go rogue almost immediately because I'm terrible with lists. I think I will probably stick pretty close to this one, but I also know that I have a bunch of holds that are about to come in on Libby, and yeah, I've got like 5 books that are gonna come in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, the board was nice to me, and Libby is about to punish me for my hubris. So we'll see what I end up actually reading, but I do feel really good about this stack, and I think it's likely I'll get to most of these, if not all of them. Put them down before I hurt myself. And that's all I have for you today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like and maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Saturday, so there is more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.